Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Diamond, if you don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a lot of people that aren't subscribed to my channel watching this video for the simple fact of the title. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I passed my real estate exam, tips and tricks that I think was helpful along the way. Now, I've actually already filmed this video before, but when I filmed it the first time, it was just a lot of information at once. I did like a backstory of my journey and then also gave y'all tips. And that video came out to be an hour long. So I'm gonna try to keep it to like 10-15 minutes this time. But quick backstory before I get into it. This is not my first time taking this exam. I'm just gonna point that out. I did start my real estate journey 3 years ago, failed this exam twice, and ended up, waiting until now to take the course, apply for the commission, and then take the exam again. So, a few things that you guys might want to know. So, the test that I took was the Mississippi Real Estate Exam. The course that I took was the Real Estate Training Institute. I took it online, so they have a day and a night class. And I did the night class online. You can also go in person for night, but I was 2 hours away from the office, so I decided to do it as a night class, as like a Zoom call. If you're in Mississippi, I 1000 out of 10 recommend taking Ready, the Real Estate Training Institute, for your course and getting your certificate through them. It's just so much information, so much study tools, study materials that you get. They really make sure that they are helping you pass. And I really think who I went to really helped with me passing my exam. So I have my notes over here so that I won't make this any longer than I want it to be. So let's go through how many times I took the exam. I took it 5 times within the span of 2 months. So in Mississippi, the rule is you have to pass, once you're approved to sit for the exam, you have to take and pass both portions of the exam within 2 months. And if not, you'll have to reapply to the commission and you'll have to sit out 3 months and then reapply to the commission, get approved again, pass the background check, and take both exams again. Within those 2 months that you are allotted, you can take the national portion multiple times, but you can only take the state portion twice. And if you fail the state twice, that's over. You have to wait 3 months, the whole 9, all of that. So I know my mind. I know how I learn. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to take both portions and actually get all of that information in my mind for it to pass both portions for the first time. So the very first time that I took the exam, after I was approved to take it, I only studied for the state portion because I was only worried about passing the state portion since I only had 2 tries to pass the state portion. So I was approved to sit for my exam April 29th and I scheduled it for May 3rd. That was the first time I scheduled the exam. And when you are initially scheduling your exam, you can only take both portions. You can't like mix them, take one and then not the other. So you have to take both. So I only studied, I paid the $75 to PSI and I only studied for the state portion. On May 3rd, I passed the state portion of my exam and I was too excited. I knew that it was only up from here. Okay. So after that week, that was a Friday. So after that week, that next week was graduation week and I work at a university. So that was too hectic. I knew that I was not going to be able to take my exam then. So I waited. And I was like, I'm going to take it the week after, but I ended up not taking it then. I ended up pushing it back and taking it, I think, May 30th, whichever was the last Friday of May. And I am just going to say, the second time around, I studied, but not that much because I felt like I knew it for some reason, but I did study. It wasn't that much and it wasn't the right material. So I failed the test by 7 points and that was the end of May. So all of June, I was like, okay, I'm going to constantly go back every week because if I don't pass this exam, like I have until June 29th to pass, I need to take this test as many times as I can within June. And also with Ready, you have access to the class for up to 6 months. So you can call to the office and say, hey, I want to take this class again, and they'll send you the Zoom link, or they'll make sure that you're on like the roll for it. So she sent me the Zoom link for June, and mind you, I took my class in February, and it's every other month. So I took it in February. I didn't study in March. They didn't have the class in March. I took the class again in April when I decided to turn in my paperwork to MREC, and then they didn't have class in May. And I signed up for class again for June. So I was in class. This is after my second attempt of taking the national portion. I was in class. I also had both of my books, and I had online study materials that I was using. After I failed the exam by 7 points, I decided to get all the study material that I could possibly get. So I had my books. Let me get everything. So this is all of my study material. This is my state book. You see how thin this is? Yeah. The state, I made my own little notes. This one was my finalized one. This is the last one I made before I actually passed the last time, and this is 10 pages long. And then I have this binder that had the prep agent key concepts. I printed it out and I put it in here. And then at the back is also another one of my study notes. So that was another one. This was my notebook. I didn't write in here much because she told us to not take notes in class, like listen to her first and then go back and take notes. So I didn't write in here much, but this was the notebook I used for class. And then this, you see how much of a difference this is compared to the state book? This is the national book. Crazy. That was all of my study materials. I also paid for Prep Agent, and then I paid for the practice exam on PSI. Don't even waste your money, because I feel like the practice exam on PSI sucks. I do not recommend it at all. I didn't even finish it. So yeah. What really helped me when I failed by 7 points and decided that I need to study more, I literally eat, slept, and breathed studying. I was always studying. You never saw me without this big freaking bluish black book in my hand. I was always studying this book, and then I had my binder with me. I will say that this key concepts to pass your real estate exam, this right here is a godsend because it highlights literally all of the basic key notes that you need for the exam. It highlights everything. So Prep Agent, I love you for that. Love. I will say though, the questions through Prep Agent did not help me. Literally the key concepts is what I use to study day in and day out. And then I also used YouTube videos on Leslie Clausen because that's one of the Real Estate Training Institute instructors for Mississippi. So if you're taking the Mississippi exam, even if you're not and you just need like national help, she has basic national videos on her page as well. But her Mississippi video, it's about an hour long, but watch that front and back 1,000 times. That's the reason I passed my state exam on the first try. Literally, I constantly watch that video because how she works it is exactly how it's going to be on the exam. The Mississippi portion is so easy. So that was the second time. The third time was after I used my study materials to study day in and day out. I failed, but I only failed by 3 points. And after I failed by 3 points, I was not scared to take this exam anymore. And I didn't mention I do have test anxiety. I've always had it ever since I was in like middle school. So I was going in it with like trying to contain myself and make sure I'm doing something to, control my nerves. But after I failed it by 3 points, I was no longer scared of the test. I was pissed off. I was ready to get it over with because I felt like this was the only thing that was keeping me back from my dream career, which it was. And I was tired of it. I was pissed off. So I kept studying this material, literally highlighted a bunch of things in here and just did the videos because I'm also a visual learner. And Prep Agent, he has like cartoon videos that he talks over, and those help for me. So the fourth time I took it was June 17th, and I failed again, this time by 4 points. At this point, I was getting discouraged and people seemed like they were down on me a little bit because I took it June 17th. I had until June 29th to pass and I failed it. So that was only like a 2-week difference. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going back. So I scheduled for that Friday. That was a Monday. I scheduled for that Friday, June 21st. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't study that much this time because I was going through being depressed about the test because I was just irritated. I was over it. I watched a bunch of videos, but honestly, I never really picked up this until I was on my way to the exam. And then I still was looking at this though, the notes that I made myself. I was still looking at this because I feel like from me taking the test multiple times, I wrote down the questions that I could remember, and then I wrote down the things that were in the test that I could remember. So I was really looking at this because I felt like this is what I knew based off of how many times I took it. But after June 21st, I took the exam, and that was the day that I passed the exam. I don't know my score because once you pass it, they don't give you your score. They just tell you you passed. But I do feel like it was way over the 56 points that I was supposed to get because what I did was I answered 56 questions and I went back to the ones that I didn't know and I was answering those. But that was always like my logic of how I did the test. I made sure to answer 56 questions that I most definitely knew the answer to, and then I went back to the other ones. But the last time that I took it, I answered 56 questions, and by the time that I answered 70 out of 90, I was still answering questions that I knew the answer to. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything because I knew this was going to be a very short video. The videos on YouTube helped a lot. Like I said, Prep Agent and Leslie Clausen. And there was another person that I watched that was really good. Let me pull him up really quickly. The name of the channel is US Realty Training. It's a guy with like black hair. He really helped me as well because I had just found him that week that I had passed my exam, and I went over easements, encumbrances, and liens. And liens was one of the things that I was having a problem with because I was still trying to figure out, like, there was one question on there for me talking about which one takes priority. And I thought that it was a mechanic's lien, but it's actually a taxation lien. Remember, the IRS always gets their money off top. Just always remember that. It doesn't matter what it is, the IRS is going to take their money first. So this is what I wanted to share. So property tax liens always take first priority, and mechanics liens take priority based on the date construction began, not the date that they were recorded in court. So remember that. Let me know if y'all want this notes, and I will put it up on my website for sale. And going back to this, rewriting the notes also helped me. So rewriting them over and over again, even if you have to type it multiple times, write it down. Rewriting something, repetition is another thing that helped because, like I said, I printed out about 5 of these before I actually took a test. I printed it out every time I had to take this test. And every time I was adding stuff to it. That's why I had to keep reprinting it. Practice exams helped me, not the ones on Prep Agent and not the PSI one, but if you're in Mississippi and you took the Real Estate Training Institute class, you have access to Leslie Clausen's website, and she has multiple state and national practice exams, and they're worded literally exactly how they're going to be on the test. Some of them are almost identical to the questions on the exam. So definitely take some practice tests if you can. There are practice exams on YouTube as well. I did some of them, but I never really finished any of those. And the last thing that I really think was helpful was when I was able to dumb down the information first before I answered any of the hard questions. Because dumbing down the information, like making sure you know vocabulary is key. It is literally everything in real estate. If you don't know vocabulary, then you're not going to understand anything that's going on. So dumb down all of the information, learn your vocabulary, and then learn how to put it in place. And then once you learn how to put the things in place, you'll be able to answer the most complicated questions on the exam. So make sure you dumb down the information and then proceed to answer complicated questions. So that's all the things that helped me pass my real estate exam. I'm super excited about what's to come in store. I have not gotten issued my license yet because when I did my application for the commission, I didn't put a broker down. So I'm actually meeting up with my broker this Tuesday, July 2nd, and I am vlogging. So hopefully after I fax that over to them, they will just email me a copy of my license, because I know that they have to send me the physical copy as well. But hopefully they just email it to me as well, because I really want to start like getting access to the MLS, getting my email set up. I want to get all of that done this week. If you are new to your real estate journey, if you just started, just remember that it takes time. Don't rush it. Don't rush learning the information. It's your career. Like, this is something that you'll probably be doing for a lifetime. So take time out and actually take your time and just learn everything. And if you have already started your real estate journey, just be patient and don't give up. Everybody was telling me that when I was getting discouraged, so just don't give up. My mentor gave me a note 2 days before I went to go take my exam, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen. It said, "You are only a failure when you choose to give up. Don't give up." And it was Galatians 6:9. Just don't give up if you are on your journey. It's a long one. It's going to take some time, but even if you fail, like I did multiple times, make sure to go back. Go back as many times as you need. Even if you have to sit out and reapply to the whatever commission, keep going back. If you want it as bad as you say you do, you will put in the work to get it. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, or if you're a real estate agent that has any tips, please put them in the comment section below. And I'll talk to y'all in my next video. Bye guys. Listen to me as I